is struggling. Happy New Year, Tim.
Hey, dude, Happy New Year, man. I'll tell you what, 26 is going to be freaking amazing. I mean, look what Trump's already doing, Brian. He's just kind of blowing it up, man.
So you think Trump is blowing it up, Tim?
I do, man. I see, he's really trying to stimulate the real estate community, the real estate marketplace. He's trying to help make homes more affordable. He is focused, and I like that. I mean, the man, he comes up with a new idea every week, and, he's kind of testing the waters to see what kind of responses are. And so far, he's had some pretty good results, Brian.
Well, he's had a couple proposals in the past that I think we should discuss, and then we can discuss this the two new proposals that just came out.
Yep.
You want to get right into it?
Rock it out, pup.
All right, Tim. So I created a chart real quick, and we're going to evaluate the plans.
Sure.
And we're going to give them a score of low potential, high potential, or just meh.
So this would be the impact on the marketplace.
Yeah, whether it's a great idea or not, whether
Sure.
Brian and Tim or whoever thinks this is a good idea. So the no credit scores on Fannie and Freddie, this has already been implemented. Is that correct?
It has, and unfortunately, it's going to have no impact at all. And
I don't have a column for no, so we're just going to put that under low
potential. Yeah.
Right. Can you go a little more in depth on why it's low potential?
So let's talk about that. So Fannie Mae comes back and says, "Hey, guess what? We're not going to go ahead and have any kind of credit score potential as long as you can get the loan approved, in an automated underwriting system. We'll take it. But here's the problem, Brian. You ready? Scores impact approval ratings, right? And so that's number one. So if you don't have the scores to get impact to approve the loan, probably not looking really sharp. That's number one. Number two, scores impact price. So maybe, you've got a score of 550 and you're buying a house, you're putting 20% down, no PMI, right? Except for that 550 credit score, it's going to equate to an interest rate of high sevens, maybe eights. So that's really going to be a challenge. You know what I mean? From that perspective. So, so I look at it from that perspective.
So what you're saying is
score means high rate, number one. Number two, probably not be able to qualify in the system. And then number three, if you put 10% down and you have a low score, the PMI is going to just kill you. Now, let me turn this around and tell you that I can do an FHA loan with a 500 credit score with 10% down, and the rate's going to be okay. And the PMI, by the way, is still 0.55. So the first item on your list is no potential, low impact, really has very little value.
So what you're basically saying is that the guidelines have taken the credit score away. However, mortgages are purchased by investors, and investors are doing a risk analysis to set interest rates and decide whether or not they're going to agree to take this on.
Correct.
They're evaluating your likelihood of foreclosure, your likelihood of missing payments. And if you take the credit score out, they're evaluating all the other things. So if you have a terrible credit score, but you make a lot of money, and I mean, are they still looking at the credit report?
Yeah, dude, big time. Because look, you know what?
They see that like you have 4 repossessed cars and you're behind on all your credit cards, but then they say that the score is blank. Yeah, I'm just saying. Exactly. So they can still see the credit report, but it just no longer has a score.
No, they're still going to have a score. It just says if it has no score, if it's not currently rated because they don't have any current activity. We get reports from time to time when there's been no credit activity the last 6 months, or they've never had a credit card or a car loan.
That's totally different. That's totally different. I thought it meant that they're no longer going to evaluate the credit score.
No, score still impacts it. Score still impacts all of your decision making, especially when it comes to rate and PMI. That we're not going to have a minimum credit score requirement. And I mean, typically 620 was the traditional minimum on a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac deal.
So you're saying that's from a guideline perspective, but all the investors still have minimum credit score requirements.
Yeah, because nobody's going to buy the loan. It's like, you know what? You didn't make your payments on these other items. What's the odds of you being a good risk for this new purchase, right? Probably not strong.
Right. All right, I get it. So it's a low potential. All right, what about 40-year mortgages? What's your take on 40-year mortgages?
You're ripping off the people. So a 40-year mortgage is going to have low potential because Number one, the interest rate will be higher than a 30-year. So the potential savings will be minimal. We're talking about maybe $100 on a $500,000 purchase. That's
No, it's like
nothing.
$300. It's like $300.
Except for the interest rate you are assuming is the same interest rate for a 30-year as a 40-year. And guess what? There is no market for 40 years. Interest rate will be higher. Therefore, the big difference that you're projecting right now is zip. So what are you doing? You're just stealing from people, making them pay another 10 years of interest. Why would you do that to yourself? That's a mistake, Brian.
So I think this is a bad idea on a number of levels. And probably the biggest reason why is because people use mortgages as their forced savings, as a retirement. I know it's a big part of my retirement plan. And by making it so that you'll never pay off your mortgage,
Mm-hmm.
and it lowers your ability to put equity into your property.
You nailed it right there, man.
All right. Next up, portable mortgages, portable interest rates, where you can take your interest rate from your current loan onto a new mortgage.
You want me to answer that, Brian?
Yeah.
Zero impact.
Come on.
Again, yeah. Okay. So you bought a house in 2020 and you paid $350,000. You've made payments for the last 6 years of the mortgage. Now you don't owe $350. We'll assume 100% financing. Now you owe $325 on the house.
That's me. That's me. The numbers are not far off from where I'm at.
Okay. Now you turn around and suddenly you're ready to go buy a new house. What's the price?
Yeah,
Brian?
and I want to take my 3.7% interest rate with me. So I'm going to take my 300 and put it down on a 600.
Yep, right.
And then I got to finance the other 300 at 6%.
No, so here's the problem, Brian. The second mortgages they're going to require to do this won't be at 6. They won't be at 8. They won't be at 12, 15%. No one's going to be able to do it. Why would you do that?
We don't know that because it's basically and they could potentially keep it as a first mortgage. Then what if the other one because this one's not actually happening yet. This is just a floated idea.
But traditionally, the problem has been gapping the difference between the mortgage and the sale price of the new house you're buying. That's been the biggest issue. And so let's do it differently this way, Brian. Traditionally,
Larry King just commented in here that do owner financing, don't give banks money.
I like Larry, but who's got that much equity in the house?
The challenge with that is the seller selling the house has to agree not to take the payment
Sure.
Over 20 or 30 years. And that works in very few. Most people who are selling their house, they need the money to buy another house or they want the money for something else. And they don't want to be somebody's bank. So it does happen, but it's like very infrequent. So let's get back to
let's pose it this way. Ready? Most second mortgages are not 30 years. They're 15 or 20. A. B. Most fixed second mortgages are 4 to 5% over the current interest rate on the first mortgage. So if the current mortgages
are they really 4 to 5% higher?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Pull anybody you want, go into the bank, do a second mortgage, and just pull up the rate right now, Brian.
What about HELOCs? What are HELOCs at? Aren't they
home equity lines are right now are in the 8s. They're prime plus 3, prime plus 4, something of that nature.
And current rates are what, 6?
So current fixed rates are 6%, 5 3/4, depends on what kind of loan you're getting.
So they're 2% higher.
So in your proposal, you're going to take a first mortgage and a second mortgage, and then you're going to blend the two. And
maybe it might be a blender mortgage, Tim. It might be a blender mortgage.
Let me play the next devil advocate. You ready? What bank, what second mortgage provider is going to do 100% second?
So this has not happened, and it sounds like it did not get legs because this got proposed a couple months ago, and I haven't heard anybody taking it on.
There you go.
Let's throw this idea out there that maybe these guys get together and they say, "Hey, listen, we bailed you out. You're going to help bail us out. You have to take. You have to create a new product. It's a blender mortgage. It's going to blend the two together, the first and the second, into one single mortgage, because we said so."
So here, ready? Won't happen. That's called 2008. That was the Great Recession. 80-20, 70-30s. Brian, we did this. Why would you push the banks back into financial insolvency? You're not going to do it. It's not going to happen.
I'm gonna put this one in a. I'm gonna split our vote here. I'm gonna put this in a meh. I think this has potential.
No
It
potential.
has potential. I don't think it has a high potential because I think what happens is once you start to go outside of your traditional 30-year mortgage
Mm-hmm.
and you're talking all the other options, hard money, owner financing, like any other sort of getting the money to buy a house, like the cost goes so far out. People are like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I would never do that.
Yep.
Because people don't understand how beautiful a 30-year mortgage is.
It is beautiful, man.
All right.
What's next?
Let's go to the next one. No more corporate purchases. So basically, no more Blackrock and Vanguard purchasing single family houses, turning them into rentals, competing against regular Americans for the purchases of just regular houses in regular neighborhoods like you and I live in. Is this low potential, meh, or high potential?
Low potential.
Low potential. Come on, Tim.
Yep. Now you're
Come
gonna
on,
laugh.
we're striking out today. Come on,
dude.
All
I'm
right.
not striking out. I'm just telling you. You know what comes down here. Ready? Institutions right now own only 0.5% of all single family
It's
homes in the
1%.
United
It's
States.
1%.
Okay, I'm
It's
looking at
1%.
I'm looking at a current right now update that just came out. Blackstone states institutional owners of single family homes, the facts.
That's probably
Institutions
from
own-
Blackstone. That's what they want you to think. Hold on, man.
Okay,
I
well, I'm
got
just
other
telling you, this
data.
is January that just came out. I'm just telling you what's out there, what I'm reading right now. Okay, U.S. government. Okay, fact check. You know what I mean? So my point is,
Hold on,
it's
right here.
declined
Shares of
dramatically.
single family homes purchased, and okay, this is the number purchased. Hold on, I got another slide. Hold on.
Give me something that's relevant, like today.
Here we go. Here's why this is actually it's dependent on where you live. The share of single family housing stock owned by large investors by county. So what you actually have is this will have a huge impact in certain booming Sun Belt areas.
So like Nevada,
like
Florida,
I'm
not really worried about that.
These are like
Arizona,
places like Charlotte and Phoenix. And these booming areas where people like the demand was really, really high, South Carolina and North Carolina.
Look at Florida, man. Florida's got some really good
Florida.
ownership. You know what?
The only challenge is Maryland, not so much. But you said right behind your office, Tim.
Yep.
Brand new set of townhouses that what?
So that are currently being rented instead of sold.
Owned by
Right. But my point is
Blackrock.
remember, these are also defined as large investors, and they're pulling it all together. Do you see the map, Brian? The map is pretty thin. The impact's going to be in, okay, Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's going to happen in Florida. Okay. Parts of Texas. Okay. I don't see
what about the idea
that
the un-American thing, and it's probably good for the housing market, and it might also just have like an impact in other parts of the market. The argument
impact.
The argument is that the people that live in these aren't buying houses because they can't afford them and they're not ready to buy one right now, and this gives them an opportunity to have a house. It keeps the rental market down a little bit. What do you think?
To be honest with you, the low impact. I'm going to tell you right now. We're scoring a big 0 for Uncle Tim right now. Everything you've brought up so far, not strong, man. What's the next one?
All right. We'll go. Hold on. I'm trying to get this one up here. So no more corporate purchases. I'm going to say also, I agree with you. We'll just go straight up. Last one, $200 million in mortgage-backed securities. This one is very likely to happen, by the way. I read the guy in charge of Fannie or Freddie, one of them said, hey, we're doing this. This is going to happen. What I was not able to ascertain is how much of an impact it's going to have based on people that have knowledge of like what $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities purchases does to the actual market. Like that's beyond my pay grade, Tim. Maybe you can tackle this one.
So $200 million in MBS purchases when we're talking about a $4 trillion.
$200 billion, isn't it billion?
Is a billion okay? If it's billion, that's cool. You have a
Yeah.
million here, right? So think about it this way: if we're a $4
All right.
trillion market, and you're buying 200 billion of 4
Yeah, but that
trillion,
$4 trillion market is all the
Yeah.
houses that everybody owns together. We're talking about
Sure.
like if you bought them right now for people buying houses in 2026, the impact could be much, much greater.
So you
It
asked me
depends on how they
low,
spread that out.
yeah. This one honestly is going to be medium to high.
All right. All right.
This
We're
is
doing
so
medium. You got to pick
far.
one, Tim.
Yep.
Medium
You
or
know
high.
what? I honestly, I think it's going to be medium. I think it's going to have some very positive impact. I don't think it's going to be a 2% interest rate, but I think it's going to have some impact in the marketplace.
All right. I agree with you. I don't really know a lot about this one. I can't speak educated around
because it's
what
only
$200 billion.
5%. Yeah.
It's 5% total, but
Of a $4 trillion market.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if they strategically bought them in whatever in a way to cause short term. So the other impact that is going to have is potentially driving up prices. So here's what I think the hard truth is around this whole thing. And tell me if I'm way off here.
Go ahead, man.
The housing market was artificially boosted or beefed up or propped up by the 3% interest rates that were kept too low for too long.
Correct.
That were not based on good financial accountability
Decisions.
or like
Correct.
decisions.
That's correct. Yep.
And it caused house prices to go way up too fast. And as a result of that, we had artificially inflated housing prices. And there was a lack of building new houses to sort of overcome the supply and demand issue.
Mm-hmm.
This 2-year stagnation that we've had, and we're actually seeing house prices go down, believe it or not, is a good thing. Overall, we actually needed the housing market to stay flat for a couple years as people's incomes in the economy grew, because then house prices actually go down in comparison. So I got a question.
It takes time, and we've got to find an equilibrium. I mean, I
got
agree
a
with you on
question in the
that.
chat.
Yeah.
They would like an evaluation of Obama's plan that took the real estate market out of the abyss left by the Bush and Cheney administration. I think we just talked about this. I don't know who started the 0% at the Fed to keep the mortgage interest rates at 3%. I want to say that started at Bush, because he got out of office the moment that happened. Because it was like he got out in 2008, correct? And then Obama took over. So Obama was there during all these low interest rates. And then Trump took them over. And then I think they actually went up during Biden's term during COVID, at the end of COVID. So how do you think, was that really a decision that Obama made? I mean, that was more of a Fed decision. I mean, was there any Obama's,
no, I think the Federal Reserve is trying to reflect, the overall inflationary marketplace. Mm-hmm. Inflation was down when Mr. Bush left, and because inflation was down, they were able to offer a low interest rate. I mean, that's a win-win. There's no question about it. But as interest rates went up,
it did cause this housing crisis that we're in today. Having a 0% interest rate was not based on what was best for the economy. It was designed to sort of save the economy. But in some ways, it caused this housing crisis, because if we didn't have 3% interest rates in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, housing prices would have not gone up as high as they did. It would have, instead of going like this, it would have gone like this.
It would have been more of a gradual increase versus what we saw. I agree, Brian.
It would have more closely matched people's incomes and affordability, and we would probably still be in a better place. I think that whole thing was actually bad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to have gone to where they went to in 2021 was unfortunately artificially overstimulating.
It was before that, Tim. I mean, I got my house in 2017. I was in the threes. Okay. This was like all the way back to like 16, 17. So this lasted for a long time.
It did. And so with that being the case, with all honesty, we learned a very valuable lesson in that case, which is, you know what? Don't want to overstimulate the marketplace because it's going to have the inverse impact, which makes houses unaffordable today.
So where does that leave us in 2026? Where, like, it doesn't.
I think 2026 is going to recover. Yeah.
Based on our chart,
right.
If we give ourselves a score, we're going to get a low impact.
Well, based on the first four ideas, yeah.
So low impact from government intervention. What about the market itself? How is your interpretation of the market itself going to move forward in 2026?
I think 26 is going to be a very strong year. I think there's a lot of pent-up demand. I think if you realize the average first-time home buyer is 40 years of age, family formations are on the high end. People are getting married.
I love how you make that sound good, Tim. Yeah. You're like, and they're 40 years old. Like, that's freaking crazy.
You know what? What 20-year-old really has their shit together to be able to buy the first house? I mean, let's face it. What were you doing when you were in young 20s?
Did. My son-in-law did. Come on, man. Come on.
Okay, but
I'm not. It was different time. Let's not start
different times. Yes, it's a different world today.
I couldn't buy a house based on what I was even adjusted for inflation. I couldn't buy a house today, nor could you, adjusted for inflation based on the money that we had when we were 20 and 21. So let's not start that conversation. No, you couldn't, Tim. Adjusted for inflation. Yeah, I know. Adjusted for inflation, your house was like $75,000 to like $200,000 in the 80s.
My first house was $90,000.
Adjusted for inflation, it would be $250,000 today.
I was making at that point in time, interest rates were fixed at 18%, and I put down 20% to buy my first house. Brian, I truthfully believe that there's more opportunity today in the marketplace than there's ever been. So if I'm a buyer, I'm going to tell you, get out there and buy now. Get out there before
you said there's more opportunity. How do you define opportunity?
You just told me that sale prices are going down. What's that tell us?
They've gone down in comparison to what affordability is. Like I'm at the top of my screen.
Sure.
If affordability is currently this, they're going down to this. That's it. Like when you and I bought a house, they were like here.
I wouldn't say that, Brian. I mean, I was only making about $30,000. I bought a $90,000 house.
That's a lot of money in the 80s, man. I was making $30,000 in 2000 when I bought my house.
And you know what? I busted my tail to be able to put down 20%
I'm not saying you didn't, Tim. I'm talking about not me and you, not Tim's character versus this young generation, Tim. I'm talking about the average American buying a house today.
Yep. I'm going to be, I'm telling you right now, Brian, I would highly recommend. My daughter right now is out in the marketplace looking to buy a house. And she says to me, Dad, is this a good time? And I said, most definitely this is the right time to buy a house.
She's not 20. She's not 20.
No, she's 35. So guess what? She is that magical age. She's close to the 40. She's, they just got married. Now they're ready for family formation. Guess what? It's a win-win. So
I mean, it's always a good time to buy a house if it's a good time for you to buy a house. Like that's just the way it is. But as a general rule of thumb, so how do you think because when we say the housing market, everybody's in one category or the other. They're either selling a house or they're buying a house, or they're first-time home buyer or they're buying and selling a house.
Correct.
We gotta have to separate this a bit. So let's just go from a buyer's perspective. What do you think this next year is going to look like for you as a buyer? Good, bad, and what do you mean by that?
Awesome. Okay. I think it's going to be a great year. I think for three reasons. I think sellers are paying closing help, Brian. Let me just be honest with you. So let's talk about that. 3% plus in closing really reduces your cash requirements.
It does. Correct.
That's number one. Number two, there's a lot of programs out there to help first-time home buyers. True. I mean, Prince George's County just announced $50,000 for the Pathways to Ownership program. Dude, $50,000.
First-time home buyers do have some advantages. Like we just helped somebody get like $35,000, and we helped another person get like $20,000. Like this is literally in the past month. People think that we just say all this stuff. This is real.
So that's number two. Number three.
That's true.
There are short sales out there.
But time out. Yeah. All right, go ahead. There's
short sales, and people
don't buy short
buyers.
Don't buy short sale. Don't buy short sale.
As long as you're patient, you're going to be able to get some closing assistance from the bank, and you're going to get some great deals out there. So I like short sales. If you've got
don't buy a short sale.
You could do it. So that'd be number three. Number
Okay.
4, sellers are willing to make repairs to houses because they're motivated to sell. Number 5, those people that have their houses on the marketplace understand the ability to work with a purchaser to make it happen. I got one right now where the guy won't be moving to the area until May. So guess what? We're not closing until the middle of March because it's a VA purchase. To me, all the signs are positive. Number 6, I see prices coming down. Now I got a builder right now who's offering a 4.99 fixed rate 30-year FHA mortgage for his new home for new construction. So you're asking me, is this a bad time? No, it's an awesome time.
So
The 26 is going to be awesome.
Let me just, okay. I'm going to actually agree with everything you said. Everything you said is true.
Score. Come on, man.
However, Tim, when you take all these incentives, the things that you described, agree that they did not exist 3 years ago, 2 years
True
ago.
that.
Right?
True that.
None of that existed. None
Nope.
of except for the programs. All
Right.
the rest of the stuff is all kind of new stuff.
Exactly.
To me, house prices, and even with today's interest rates, as a percentage of your income, is still up here. The things that you discussed help this much.
Correct.
And the house prices coming down here.
Yep.
But this gap in the middle is still
Brian, I'm not going to tell you.
Untenable,
it's
unbearable.
significant. No, it's not unbearable. It's significant. But let me just pose a question to you. Ready? It comes down to how we look at housing today. It looks at what the long-term impact is going to be. It looks at that we view it as an investment, not only just housing by itself. So yeah, is it life hard? Yeah, life's hard. It's a struggle. Guess what? You know what I mean? That's why I got no hair, Brian. I mean, I don't think you have much either. Let's just call it what it is, right? Life's a struggle. It's not easy. There's just
we
no
work
way
in real
around
estate.
We do.
All right. I agree with that. I agree with that. And I agree that you still should buy a house because of the fact that it's a good idea for most people, if they can afford a house, to buy a house. Now, there is a place where it does become not a good idea.
Okay.
And when the percentage of your income is nearing 50%, and you're looking at this as something you feel like you have to do, there are a lot of scenarios where people probably should rent, whereas in a normal market, and we are not in a normal market, they probably should buy. But I still feel like the cost of housing, like unless you're making $150,000 a year, it still feels like there's not going to be a whole lot that you're going to be able to do that is going to be comfortable. Like, I mean, the cheapest houses that are livable right now is $320,000 ish.
It's all market focused. It's all market, because I'm doing one right now for a gentleman in Florida, $235,000.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, we live in Maryland, Tim. This podcast is for people in Maryland.
Okay,
and it's primarily people in Southern Maryland, but even all of Maryland. Like, one of the cheapest places to live in all of Maryland, believe it or not, is Lusby, Maryland. It's going to have a concentration of houses. One of the very cheapest places to live. That's got a nice lifestyle. No one wants to live in Hagerstown.
Okay. But my point is, there is opportunity out there, and it's
but let's just flesh it out real quick. So $325,000, first time home buyer, USDA, no money down. What's the payment on that?
So you're probably looking at a payment of somewhere in the neighborhood $325,000,
$2,400, $2,400 a month. That's kicking the teeth. All right. Let's say $2,400. This is divided. I'm not saying bottom of the barrel, because there are like some fixer uppers you can buy. What kind of income is comfortable for $2,500?
We said 2,400, and the answer to the question is, comfortable.
Like what's like a lender guideline says you should be at what, 30% of your income?
Well, I'm going to take it to an FHA loan and go to 45%, Brian.
I know, but I'm saying at 30% of your income, which is recommended by like the if you go to a doctor, a mortgage doctor, and you're like, hey, doc,
$96,000 in income.
Okay.
Yep. There you
go. All right. So you got to make about $100,000
to buy a house. That's okay. You know what I mean?
Buy the smallest house in America, in Maryland.
But I can tell you right now, guess what? That same house is going to rent for $2,400, $2,500,
No,
$2,600.
no. It'll rent for like $1,900. I'm selling one right now. I literally have one. I just put on the
Find me a
contract yesterday.
rental. Find me a rental for $1,900 in Lusby, Brian. I mean, I'm kind of shocked.
I just moved a lady into one. Now it is 900 square feet. And
Okay, 900 square feet, and that won't sell for $325. Two bedroom, one bath. Okay, let me.
Oh, you're right. It probably will rent for like $2,200. You're right.
Okay,
but I'm just saying, this is why people have to wait till they're 40 to buy a house. And the big picture of things is still unbelievably unbalanced. And it's not just America, it's the UK, it's Australia, it's like all over the world.
It's worse in UK, it's worse in Australia. The best place still is the United States of America.
Well, you can go to South America and get some nice land. Like you can get waterfront down there.
Yeah, but then you got lions, and
you got
alligators, and
you got
snakes, tigers, all that kind of craziness. Exactly right.
They have tigers.
Just saying.
They have tigers in South America.
Cougars. Yeah, I mean they have panthers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just saying.
All right, so you're saying, all right, now let's just switch to sellers real quick. Sellers, how do you see 2026 for sellers?
I think it's going to be phenomenal. As interest rates go down, prices are going to go up. Sellers going to be having a lot more buyers in the marketplace. The competition is going to heat up. It's going to be a home run, dude. You tell you what, 26 is going to be a great year if you're not prepared for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna actually agree with that, with the caveat. You have to go back to what we said about buyers. You're going to have to be willing to pay closing costs. You're going to have to be willing to negotiate the price maybe a little bit. You're going to have to be aggressive when your price a little bit.
That's called a traditional
market. I know.
Okay?
We're going to get to that. I know.
2021 we're Abby normal. Remember, they took the wrong brain and they put it in Frankenstein. Abby normal. Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say you'll still get historically high price for your house. You'll be able to find a buyer relatively quickly.
Right. Yep.
You'll be able to get through the deal. Buyers are qualified. It's pretty smooth, pretty straightforward. Things are
right on the money.
The oil is into the machine. So I think it'll be easier because there was a time when it was hard. Everybody was mad. That's starting to shift. Now, what about volume? We still have the lock-in effect going on. Do you think that we're going to see an increase in sales?
Dramatic increase in sales.
Dramatic. Tim is on fire today.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And the reason for this, because there's a lot of folks that got furloughed last year, and they realized that government jobs were not permanent long-term. They've re-examined where they're living. They've re-examined their lifestyles. They've re-examined their position and said, you know what? I don't need this huge house anymore. And I don't care if my interest rate is 2.5%, 3%. It's time for me to move, trying to make the transition. And so I think we're going to see a dramatic number of houses come on the market. As the higher houses come available, the younger people in the smaller homes are going to say, look, this is a new home. There's an opportunity here. They're going to jump into the new home. The lower priced house becomes available. Brian, this is going to be the greatest year, 26, in the last 5 years. I'm just telling you right now.
5 years includes 2021, Tim. You think
2021 2021 we're so hard to get a house
is going to exceed the number of sales of 2021?
Dramatic. I think we're going to see a big jump.
I got to stop fishing, Tim, and start selling houses, because if I'm going to sell more houses in 2021, we're getting ready to get it on.
I'm telling you right now, you should have a cooler in your car full of sandwiches and drinks.
Well, what I don't have is a long list of people that are like, hey, I'm so excited about 2026. I can't wait to sell my house. I don't see what you see, Tim.
I see it coming
down.
So
my prediction is a slight increase over 2025, which is historically slow real estate market. So it'll be better. It'll be better for sellers.
Yep.
In some respects, but definitely better for buyers. I think house prices are coming down a little bit, so that's going to cause a little bit of friction for people.
Yep.
And I think that the number of sales is not going to be dramatically impacted by anything that we've discussed today. I don't think anything's coming down the pipe that is indicating some mass migration of people in any direction there's no like large enough of an incentive to pull people out of the 3% interest rates. Like, I'm one of those people. I wouldn't sell my house right now necessarily to get into a 6% interest rate. So I think that still exists. I think that we're just going to sludge through the next 5 or 10 years unless something dramatic happens. Like if nothing changes, I think we're going to sludge through the next 5 or 10 years. Eventually people have life situations and they have to move. And then eventually these 3% interest rates will flush out of the market. Like, I don't know where we're at today, but as of like 2024, it was like 60% of mortgages were 4% or under. And as that changes in people, and then we get a higher percentage of people that are at 5, 6, 7, and 8, then it's not as much of an impact to sell your house and buy a house.
I think we're
Pizza Party said they told me to move to Florida and it's poo-poo here.
They told me to move to Florida? Dude, I'd never moved to Florida. I mean, I don't live in Florida. Look, yeah.
I want to go to Florida, Tim. Here's the thing, Pizza Party conga line. You know what the temperature was like in the past month in Maryland? It was like 34 degrees. And I spent a good deal of that time outside on the back of a boat, and it is freezing. The water is brown, the wind is blowing, the skies are gray. And you know what? None of that is happening in Florida. They call it the Sunshine State because it's sunny all the time. It rains at like 3 o'clock, and then the rain blows out, and the sun comes back out. You have white sandy beaches. The water is crystal clear. It has a few sharks in it, but don't swim with the sharks. You can just.
And what about the hurricanes? What about
honestly, people that get affected by a hurricane is pretty slim. And
what about the insurance rates, the homeowners insurance rates?
Santa's down there killing it. Insurance is a big deal. I will agree with you on that. That's a miniature crisis.
It's a major crisis in Florida, Brian. So I think you're out of your mind on that one, brother. I'm just telling you like it is.
I mean, I'm ready to go to Florida, so. Well, but my wife is not, and my family.
So there you go. And your kids
I'll be here all of next year. So if you guys do need to buy or sell, I won't be going to Florida. I'll be here. I would love to help you. Tim would love to help you. I think we hashed it all out, Tim.
I think we did, man. And you agreed to the majority of what I said, which was scary by itself.
The only thing I split with you on is the portable mortgages thing. Everything else we're pretty much in lockstep. And I don't agree with you that 2026 is going to be some banner year compared to.
We're going to see sales up. We're going to see values.
Sales will be up, but not up historically. They'll be up compared to 2025, 2024, which were historically the worst year.
And 23.
You said I think you've been doing this since the 80s, and the past 2 years have been the worst 2 years in the history of real estate in our lifetimes.
Yeah, they've been rough.
Yeah.
So I think sales are going to be up 20% over last year. I'm just going to be honest with you.
20%. All right, we got this on record, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, 20%. Mark my word. Your sales are going to be up 20%.
All right.
And it's good because people are finally ready to commit to buying a house. I'm just telling you, Brian.
Pizza Party says if you're going to be more positive. You need to be more positive because it's freaking warm in Florida right now. Like, go outside, look at the sunshine, and go back inside, and then just remember it's freaking cold. It's freezing cold up here.
And then come July and August when it's 105 and you're baking your rear end off down in Florida, come up and visit us in Maryland.
Go sit in the air conditioning and just, it's still going to be 100 here too. So,
all right, man.
All right, Tim.
26, brother. Okay, you need like a captain's hat or something, man. I'm serious.
I know. Next time.
The commander's seat. There you go, brother.
Yeah.
All right, man. Catch you with you. Thanks. Later.